Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Rockwell Farms Garden Show. And what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, I'm Josiah.
Oh, I'm Mark.
This is Mark. Hey, we're going to be talking about, we got some beautiful fall items in. And so we're going to be talking about those and how to get a fall container started, and some of the options that we do. We're going to have Christy come over and tell us more about that.
Okay, because Christy does a lot of our planting, and so do you. You've trained most everybody here on how to do color bowls.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago I trained you, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You didn't take much training though.
No,
yeah. You more or less butted in.
Kind of, and threw some of your training away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we sell so many color bowls.
Right, yeah. Well, Christy puts together a lot of our color bowls now, and she does a fabulous job at that. So
yes, she does.
We're going to be talking with her.
So we're going to talk about how to do a color bowl. Drop and pop.
Yeah.
That's always good. And I want to talk about what to look for in a pansy, because we're not the only nursery that sells pansies, and I think it's very important that people know exactly what to look for, what variety.
Yep.
And how our pansies make a difference, because we are very particular on what we order.
Yep.
And what to look for, once again, in a mom, because they are more bloomed out than they were before.
We have some pops of color in there.
And so, yeah, take it away.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go talk to Christy then.
Let's find her.
Okay. Christy, Vanna!
Like Josiah said earlier, this is Vanna, otherwise known as Christy. Christy does all our color bowls, and just show people what you do.
Yes, all right, thanks y'all. We're gonna make some of our famous color bowls. They're really easy to make, and you can use all of the pretty fall color that we got in. We got this gorgeous like rainbow chard. It's actually a Swiss chard, so we like to use a centerpiece for height, and then we're gonna mix it in with our complementing colors of our pansies so that it makes it pop. So we're gonna go with some rose pansies.
Swiss chard, I love it because Swiss chard will handle the cool temperatures.
Yes.
It will go all the way down to negative, I don't know, below freezing. It's nice. Swiss chard.
Good. So we like to just make a little hole in the center of our dirt so that our tall centerpiece can get planted in nicely in the color bowl.
You know that's edible too.
It is edible. It's really good if you saute it up with some garlic and oil. It's delicious.
I think it's prettier though.
It is prettier.
Hey, stay out of our video.
Okay.
Okay, what I like to do is kind of take the tops off. This is rose.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite combinations, and you tell me what you think.
Oh yeah.
So feel free to take the heads off. Look at that. Okay, now beautify it.
Beautify it. All right. So we're going to do with what he just did. We're now going to place the items into the color bowl.
Just
this is
dump
where
it
you
out.
get to have fun with your creativity, with your placement. So we like to always have height, complementing colors, and then we sometimes even do trailers.
There's your rose.
We've got lots of options up here. And no one needs to feel intimidated by arranging color bowls. It's about fun. It's about what you like. It's going to be on your porch. You're going to be looking at it. So feel free to let your artistic side kind of come out.
I like these pastel colors because when you look in the wintertime, you have short days, right?
Yes, sir.
So nothing is more spectacular than coming home to a nice color bowl on the front porch. It kind of brightens up your dark day.
Yeah, it makes you happy. So we like to also alternate in a little bit of our Dusty Miller here.
Yes.
We like to use this because of its nice velvety texture and color. It also gives a little break in the transition between the pansies. So you can kind of just arrange it in, and don't worry about the dirt that's on the flowers when you water in, because you need to always water in your flowers. It'll come right off.
What really is watering in?
Watering
Explain
in
that to
is
me.
giving it a nice soak. So the way that I was taught was to allow the water to go into the plant and actually drip out the bottom. Once it starts dripping out the bottom and you see that it's no longer retaining on top of the surface, you've given it a good water. It's allowing the water to get all the way through all of the root system so that your plant can be happy. And I like to water early in the morning and late at night. Just like, you know, when we wake up in the mornings, we like a glass of water.
While we're doing this, we're going to talk about what to look for in a pansy. Can I just jump in real quick because I saw this? Feel free to pull the plant out of the pot because look, see these white roots? this was grown very, very well. A lot of the times you'll find pansies with brown roots. You do not want that one. Also on a pansy, what you want is a short, squatty plant. A lot of the times on a pansy you have the inner node and then you have a node. Same thing on a plant. A lot of times this part will stretch on a plant and the flower will come up and fall over. So what you want, here you go.
Thank you.
What you want in a 6-pack are short, squatty plants, because later on in the season it will grow a lot fuller and you'll get a lot more blooms.
That's wonderful, Mark. That's good information.
What do you need?
And our pansies are all picked out specifically for the colors and types.
Well, this variety is the Delta variety, and Delta variety has a tendency to go well into the summertime, hence the name Delta.
Oh, wonderful. So this is kind of just a nice example of a way you can do a color bowl. This is just one of the many options. We've got different varieties of the chard and kales that you can alternate in to make different color bowls.
And you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. And again,
that will be beautiful.
You've made it yourself, so there's that ownership you can take in coming home in your driveway and seeing, wow, look what I did, and it brightens your day.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, you know what? I think Christy did a really good job on that.
I think she did too.
Yeah.
That'll fill out, and then she'll be able to fill this in. She'll probably put some spillers in it or something. You made a mess, Mark.
I did. I am a mess. That's my wife.
Disclaimer, no plants were harmed in the making of this video.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about a few things about pansies. You know, something that people need to keep in mind is pansies don't like wet feed.
Yes.
You know, so you definitely don't want to overwater your plants. Pansies can actually do better with some drier soil.
Yep.
And so it's not a constant thing that you have to keep going out and watering as much, which I really like about the pansies.
The pansy will tell you just by drooping whether it needs water or not.
Absolutely.
It's a lot better to let them droop and be droughty rather than overwatering, because that overwatering is what gives you brown roots.
Yeah, no kidding. And the same for like your kales, cabbage, Swiss chard, your cool weather crops that we actually use as ornamentals. These are all ornamentals.
I love that kale, by the way.
Look at that. Yeah.
That's the peacock kale. I love that.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That purple color.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the funny thing about pansies, Mark, is that, you know, my family's from the north. In the north, up in Minnesota, pansies are something that you actually get in the spring, because there they actually last through the summer, and then they enjoy them in fall as well. And so it's kind of funny because I can tell here at the nursery who's from the north and who's from the south by people coming in and asking for pansies. So
you're exactly right. A pansy is a winter annual. Okay, so your pansy here is a fall, winter,
and spring,
early spring annual.
Right.
And that's why I like the Delta series, because it will last all the way through up till the heat of the summer.
And they're sub-zero. Yeah.
That's right. They will withstand negative 30-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, it's the heat that makes them deplete.
Yeah, we've had snow on our
opposite
containers
of most
before, and flowers still popping up through the snow. I mean, it's just amazing. And no better way to get some color. And some of them will actually reseed pretty easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the different varieties of pansies?
Yeah, why don't
we
you?
have 3 different varieties.
Yeah. That's great.
Here we go.
Oh, nice. You made that pretty quick. That's a beautiful container right there. Doesn't need anything. Wow.
That's the Delta variety.
Okay.
The Delta variety will have more of a medium size flower, but you will get more of them. It's more squatty, and that's my favorite variety because it goes well into the summertime.
Yeah, wow. Yep, usually when it starts getting about 80 degrees, that's when your pansies start to stretch. So here at our nursery, we actually wait for the temperatures to come down, hover around 75 and below, before we get pansies in. So usually, you know, when other places already have them out, I kind of think that's a disservice.
Yes.
Because then they're going in and they're buying really stretched pansies. They don't look good.
Or they might look good on the shelf, and they plant them in the sun and the hot temperatures, makes it grow fast and fall over.
And then your best way to make sure that you have which is the next variety he's getting to make sure that you have winter hardy pansies, is you want this stem to be shorter. The shorter the stem is on your pansy, the more winter hardier it's going to be.
So like he said, you want one that'll pop up. This is the matrix variety. I really like the matrix variety because it has a large bloom. Okay, that's a large bloom, in a squatty plant.
Yeah.
So it will not go, big truck. It will not go into the summertime as long as the Delta, but it does have kind of a larger bloom. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I do. Yeah. And a shorter stem.
Our last one is the Majestic. This right here, I love this because now the Majestic will not go as far into the summertime, but look at that color. That is Majestic.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
wow.
I love that.
I love that blotch. Love the classic blotch on some of these. It's really pretty.
And you know, if you brighten that up, where's a good yellow? Here. Boop. A little dirty.
Yeah.
See how it brings out that color? And then you can go with the light blue. You can even go with the yellow.
This is actually how we pick out pansies for our container garden, or help when we're helping customers. You might ask the garden associate depending on what nursery you're at, but how we help people is we'll just go, if they're trying to figure out what color schemes that go well, we'll just pick a bloom off of each one because these are so prolific.
This right here is my wife's favorite.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You can plant that as a standalone. Yep.
But we'll just go through and pick heads off of these and put them together. Now, I think two of those kind of clash a little bit.
Yep.
But like this right here with maybe some red thrown in or white.
Or white.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, you might throw in some red. Woo.
Beautiful. So something that we didn't talk about yet is mums. So putting mums in your container. And what I love about mum season is it's pretty easy for me at home with my containers because I will just dig out the flowers that are my annuals from my containers that aren't doing well anymore. And I'll just kind of make a hole in there and I'll actually grab one, I'll show you. What's awesome about these is you can leave these in the container and plop them in your container. And that way, they will root through the holes on the bottom of your container, and it's a really easy transition going into fall. It's pretty light work.
Drop and pop.
Yeah, yeah.
I love this with this purple container.
Isn't that awesome?
So customers can actually come up here and buy the container with the soil and a mum and do it themselves.
Or if they have existing containers, they can just plop those right in there.
I love this
with
purple.
soil or not.
The purple pretty much makes this yellow pop out. I love
That's
it.
our biggest seller right there. That's a really good one.
And difference in your mums as well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You have your button mums and then you have your daisy mums. Those are two different types of flowers that you'll find. This is a daisy mum. It's about halfway open. This is the perfect time to buy this mum. And then your button mums will have a smaller bloom, but yet it's good. Yes,
Here's
I
one
love
right
that
here.
lavender.
Look at that, but it still shows off, even with the smaller flower.
The whole thing will be covered in bloom.
Wow.
That's a good mum.
That's beautiful.
Yes. All right, so now let's talk about fertilizers that you got.
Yeah, that is something important. You want to keep in mind, especially if you're container gardening or you have a flower bed that you've had flowers or annuals, those suck up a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So just making sure that when you're going to do your fall planting, you know, things like kales, cabbage, mums, pansies, that you're replenishing the soil, especially in the containers. A lot of people don't think about this. Container gardening or container planting, you have to have fertilizer for your plants to do well, or some sort of amendment in your potting mix that will continue to feed them. Because you got to think of it like this: when you have a container, every time that you are watering it, that nutrients is draining out the bottom. So there's one thing. And because your plants are in a contained environment, they're going to be using up a lot of that nutrients, and they're going to run out of that pretty quick.
Well, that's why I like the Fertilizing bedding mix. It's a slow release fertilizer, and I believe it's very high in phosphorus, 22%. Is that right?
Yep.
So
22.
that is awesome because your pansy is like a high phosphorus fertilizer, but yet low nitrogen.
And this is great. This is, like you said, a slow release. I'm going to open this.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'll show you what this looks like. This is pelletized right here. This makes it so much easier. It's slow release, so every time that you fertilize, or every time that you water, excuse me, every time that you water, you're gonna be fertilizing. which is awesome.
And that's so easy to use.
You don't have to keep remembering to go back and forth. Another one that I like, if you want to stay more on the organic side, actually for pansies especially, is this grow. Because your pansies do like some form of nitrogen that's going to need to be replenished to get into that season.
And a lot of our customers bought the big bag of the grow.
Yep.
And so I'm really glad you brought that up, because it lets them know that they can use that also on their fall crop.
Correct. So if you have pulled everything out, you can sprinkle this in, rake it in, and water. Because it's organic, this is going to leave a residual as well. It's not like the slow release, but it is going to leave a residual because it'll continue to break down over time and to continue to feed your plants.
Yeah, but overall, for the spring, summer, fall, winter, and then spring again, this right, yeah, in all honesty,
it is a go-to.
This is a go-to as far as when it comes to bedding plants.
Yeah.
Because bedding plants don't necessarily, you're not going to eat them, even though you can eat the pansies. People don't know that.
Yeah, they're edible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know a cool trick? Make Jello. Okay, make some Jello and put the pansy flowers
in the Jello.
On top of the Jello.
Wow, you're too fancy.
And you can
You're
eat
way
it.
too fancy. That's awesome.
It's actually really
Oh,
cool
that's pretty
because
cool,
if you have like orange Jello with the purple pansy flower above it,
wow,
it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if your kids can get over eating the flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this, once again, this premium bedding plant food, I really like this for, yes, all through the year for all your annuals.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
So back to containers, one last thing on those. What I like to do, one of the methods that we use a lot here is we have your center, it's three things. This is our most famous method that we use. So you have a centerpiece, a filler, and a spiller. So, you know, have something tall in the middle. Filler in this case would be our pansies, and then a spiller on the side that can make it a little bit more dramatic, just kind of on the side, that will spill over and give you a little bit more of a, again, dramatic effect to that. That's one of the main methods we like. Our other one is, you know, even using just something plain. Sometimes just doing mass planting.
It's a drop and pop.
Yeah, mass planting or one thing can make it a little bit easier on the eyes. And back to this over here, one of the things that I like to keep in mind, so you have your spiller and your filler, and then you have your centerpiece. On your filler, I try to keep it less than 3 colors, because then it can become a little bit too busy and look like a bowl of jelly beans. Some people like that too, but it kind of helps out. Keeping around 2 to 3 colors keeps the busyness of it down, and then your eye can have something to land on rather than being spread all over the place with the color.
So once again, to recap on the pansies, when you're out shopping for pansies, there's a few things you want to look for. Definitely look for the white roots.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Pop one plant out and see how the grower did. You want white roots. You want a short, squatty plant and a nice bloom.
Yeah. That's the gist of that.
Yep. Okay, where do we go from here?
Well,
I had no idea.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we did get some new trees in, especially the emerald green arborvitae.
Yes.
So why don't we just show a few of those, and that'll finish up basically everything that we got in for the fall as far as trees and shrubs go.
Cool.
So,
I like it.
Let's go.
I like that. Okay, Josiah wanted to stop and talk about the Japanese maples that we just got in.
Yeah, these are pretty.
Yeah, these just came in this morning.
Yeah.
And these Japanese maples, did you notice that they're single stem?
Oh yeah, actually I didn't notice that until now.
Yeah, a lot of the Japanese maples be multi-stem to make it fuller, but these are single stem to where they'll grow into an actual tree.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorites because of the color in the spring. And then just it holds its color really well through the summer. If it's hotter, it might green out a little bit, but all of its new growth, I mean, just that beautiful red color up there.
And in the springtime, the whole tree will be this color right here, this bright red.
Now, and if you need a Japanese maple that gets larger, the Bloodgood, that's my favorite for our zone.
Yep.
It's a really good one.
I agree with that. Yeah. Hey, Josiah, tell us a little bit about these right here.
Well, nothing gets me more excited than new trees coming in because these smell so good. Do you smell them?
Yep.
Oh man, that smells great.
Not like that, but I've smelled them.
This is the emerald green arborvitae. This is awesome. Love this one for privacy, because it's going to get around 4 foot wide and about 10 to 15 foot tall in our zone. somewhere around there is usually what it gets, about 10 to 15. But I like these because if you don't have enough space between like the pool or the fence, which we see that a lot,
Right.
this one is a great one to get privacy, so you can be out playing with the kids and not have to worry about the neighbors peering down in on you. I really like this one. It also keeps that emerald green color, kind of that sea green, all season long.
You think that's why they called it Emerald Green Arborvitae?
Maybe so.
Maybe. Maybe. And the grower did a really good job on these.
Yeah.
I love the way that he grows these, nice and straight and full. So yeah, these Emerald Green Arborvitaes are really nice. And you're
Yeah.
right, nobody wants leaves in their pool. So
No,
this is really good for
absolutely.
that space going
Right.
around the pool.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, I like these. Got a good crop, about 50 of them just this morning.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And they do really good on their, what you would call it, their cultural practices.
Yes.
Really good on it. Because these are nice and full. There's no airiness in between them. So when you're getting that privacy, you don't have to worry about, the center splitting
Yes.
or whatever.
I like
they do
these a
really
lot.
well.
Good job.
Yeah.
I went and picked some, this is the Rocket Snapdragon.
Yes,
This one's
yeah.
yellow, but it comes in various colors. I love Snapdragons because they grow fast and gives you all bloom.
Yes. Hey, so excuse the noise of the road. We really wanted to show you all this stuff up here. It's so beautiful with everything we got in.
Price you pay for being on the highway.
Yeah, no kidding. It's pretty loud.
What?
What? Hey, so right here, I don't think people give cabbage enough credit.
No.
It is my favorite food, and then the ornamental, it's
Yep.
my favorite in the fall. This right here, this is a red flowering cabbage. It is going to, when it blooms out and gets fills out a little bit, it's going to have a beautiful bright red center. Thank you. It's going to have a beautiful bright red center right there. And then this one is the white. So this blooms out, has a beautiful white center. This does really well through some frost and a little bit of freeze, and just keeps going and going until the hard winter's here.
Yeah, here's
so I
another
really
one.
love them. That's another red. So
Yep.
that one's going to bloom out red. Has a little bit different variation than this guy over here.
But
Has
now's
some
the
blue in
time to
leaves.
plant these when they're short, squatty, and full.
Right, absolutely. So what do
Over
you got
here,
Wow.
we have kale. And yes, you can eat it. See, that gives an interest in the garden. I like it. I like it a lot. This is the
Yeah.
peacock kale.
I'm going to go ahead and show you that tag on this one. Your peacock kale has that red center as it blooms out.
As it gets
Beautiful.
bigger, it'll be redder.
Ornamental.
And
then
what's
this?
this?
Is the white version
Oh, go
of
ahead.
that over there. So you have, this one also has that, this will bloom out with that, it's like lace, lacy white center. Can you see that? Awesome.
This is the crystal deep red. I'm not familiar with this one, but it kind of looks like a combo between the cabbage and the kale.
kind of threw it in our order on you.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thought, I'll take some of those.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I see that.
Be a good filler for the garden.
Wow.
Let's
Beautiful.
go, I want to go get a mustard.
Yes, yeah. Okay, good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the mustard. Look at this purple color. I love it. Really good color for the garden. You can plant yellow and blue and orange around this. It'll look really nice. You know
Yeah.
what? Gaudy is always good in the garden.
Absolutely.
Elvis was a very good gardener because he was so gaudy. Gaudy is good.
Bedazzled plants everywhere. Yeah, but the snapdragons, people don't think about those a lot for your fall planting. Those actually do really well with cooler temperatures. And then you have a beautiful flower. So we got you showed the rocket yellow, I believe, up there, but there's the rocket bronze, which is kind of a bicolor. When this gets to blooming, you have kind of red to yellow in the flower. And then we also have the rocket red. And these will get a little bit taller, so they'll give you some height. Where you have pansies, those are pretty low bedding plants. This will give you a little bit of height in your flower.
In case
bed.
you're wondering what a droopy plant looks like, here
Yes.
you go. Good that we have irrigation.
Yeah, irrigation's coming, yeah.
This is what a droopy plant looks like.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because when you let it droop like this, it actually strengthens the plant for one thing, and also it keeps it shorter. So it's better for it to be droopy than overwatered.
Yeah, definitely
Let's
don't
take a
want
look
it
at-
overwatered.
Take a look at these roots. See?
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
Nice and filled out.
Much
your
better than
Dusty
brown.
Miller. I know that we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Dusty Miller, I like this for your fall because it does great as a border or an accent plant. And you,
Or a good filler.
you just
like
have that silver
yeah.
and that's beautiful.
just here, like you put 3 of these in a big color bowl and then put pansies around it like Christy did.
This kind of reminds me of Christmas. Frosted.
We'll call it Frosty Miller.
Oh, one thing that we need to talk about, we do have Wave Pansies. Now, Wave Pansies, the Wave brand's a pretty good brand, but the Wave Pansy, that's a trailing pansy. So if you have a hanging basket, this will actually start to trail off the side. And we've got those over here. So your Wave Pansy kind of has a smaller flower head on it. But this is going to be great for hanging baskets. This will spill off the side. You can also use it in with your regular, you know, we're talking about a centerpiece, a filler, and a spiller. This will work also as that spiller coming off the side of your planter.
The flower size is kind of in between a viola and a pansy.
I know, it kind of looks like a, what do you call it, a panola. It's a cross between your pansy. Now, I'm not sure if that's what this is.
But that'd be very good on the outsides of a pot.
Yeah.
Drip over.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We are ready for fall.
yeah.
I mean, even all the perennials that we have there, we have a ton of perennials that are still blooming. I see the dianthus still blooming.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the echinacea and so forth. So
yeah.
you can incorporate your perennials. Oh, we should have talked about that. Whoa!
Whoa.
Irrigation.
Irrigation's on.
Really?
They're so fluffy.
Hey, we didn't want to let you go without telling you about some of the perennials that you can plant. We have a slew of perennials, and you can take your pansies, your cabbage,
Yeah.
your kale, your Swiss chard, and plant them around your perennials. And then when your perennials get fuller, it'll kind of crowd it out, and you'll be good for this coming spring.
Well, you know, ajuga is actually a great fall plant as well. A fall perennial.
Ajuga.
Yeah. So it's actually, some of these are getting ready to put on blooms. And then this is such a great ground cover
Yep.
to work around your pansies.
Yep.
And then dianthus. Dianthus has a soft bloom in the fall as well. So,
Ton of dianthus is still blooming. It blooms all the way from spring to the winter time.
yeah.
I love the varieties of dianthus that we get in. And then we have some yellow gaillardia down there, some daylilies. So
Rudbeckia, those are great as well.
you can plant those perennials, even if they're not blooming right now. You can go ahead and plant them and then get your color with the pansies, the cabbage, and kale
Yeah,
this fall. And then in the springtime, you'll have the color from the perennial.
sure can.
So
Great.
once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
By the roadside, but that's the price you pay. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, why don't you leave a comment if you have any questions about what we talked about today, or if you have questions that you need help in your own garden or landscape, you can leave a comment down below the video. We do answer those on this show, and so that also helps other gardeners. We do care for real about your gardening experiences and do want to help. So.
And don't forget about the raffle. Let's mention the raffle once
Yep,
again.
Yep. We're almost to the end of September, so we're going to be drawing our raffle for the 25-gallon shade tree. It's going to be planted. We will pay for the planting, for our
Staking,
professionals to do it.
mulching.
Everything that goes with your tree to make sure that you are successful. We're raffling that off. You just have to subscribe to our show. Come and show us that you subscribed. You can also get an extra raffle ticket by following us on Instagram and liking us on Facebook.
We like to be liked. Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Great. We'll see you next time.
Yep.